In 10 years, you can win the witnesses, you can scare the witnesses, witnesses may die, anything may happen in 10 years. So normally, they get an acquittal, right, on the ground of benefit of doubt. You take Sukram's case, the former minister, telecommunication minister. In 96, he was charge sheeted by CBI for having few crores of rupees under his mattress. He was convicted in 2009, 13 years later. How does, this punishment has stopped being a deterrent. If there is an immediate conviction, people are afraid because it has a social stigma attached immediately. After the 10 years, first of all, to get a conviction is bad, then he'll say, I got to stay from the High Court or from the Supreme Court. Sukram was 83 years old when the conviction was awarded. The matter has been in the Supreme Court since 2009. We require a drastic change in the system. Every system, be it the judicial system, be it the executive, the legislature, every system is now corrupted and require a drastic change.
Justice, one question about this Lokpal bill. It has been thrown up and down, all over the place it's been going on. Now the government is harping on one issue, that is the Prime Minister. But the Lokpal people like Kejriwal are talking about Prime Minister's question is not the only one. The other questions are there which are far more important. Now this has been going on. What will be the situation, whether it will go to the Parliament, whether it will be... Now the standing committee can throw it out or approve 100%. Does that mean that that will be the final decision of the...
No, then it will go to the Parliament. In the Parliament there is supposed to be discussions. Now again in our parliamentary system, because of they found certain deficiencies earlier, what is the parliamentary system? Each party has a right to issue a whip. You vote or don't vote. So it will be the decision of 5 minutes. Now, of course, the BJP has said that Prime Minister should be included. As you said, no, it is not these two issues only, but they are fundamental. But left to myself, I am prepared to compromise. You agree for all other things, which you have not got it as a contentious issue. You are projecting as if there is only two contentious issues. One is the superior judiciary, other is the Prime Minister. For the time being, let's keep them. You bring other things. The main thing is the powers that is to be vested with the Lokpal, and the infrastructure to be given to the Lokpal. The Lokpal is a new institution. What the Lokpal group asked was, once Lokpal is created, all investigation in regard to corruption, in regard to central government employees, will be that of the Lokpal jurisdiction. CBI will not have a jurisdiction in that, or any other police will not have a jurisdiction. In CBI there is a wing which is specialized in anti-corruption work. You transfer that wing to Lokpal. It will be under the Lokpal. They say no. What work will that CBI wing, anti-corruption wing will have when it is still in the CBI, when the work is transferred to Lokpal? Nothing. Why do the Lokpal people want that wing? Because it is an expert already trained for over last 50 years. They say no, you create your own investigation. How is it possible? It will take 10-15 years before you could have a proper thing. If you are not prepared to lend these officers, you will have to recruit them, you will have to train them. This is impossible. These are the things. Then they say this is confined only to Joint Secretary and above. Others are not concerned. How does the corruption in the lower level will be tackled? They say, oh, there are central government employees from Himalaya to Kanyakumari. Therefore, how can one Lokpal at Delhi deal with all these problems? There will be millions of problems. We suggested, look, don't give any infrastructure, nobody is asking for it. But create the jurisdiction. Because there are, let's say, the lowest level of corruption in the central government employees is a postman. When he brings the pension to the person to be given in a village or a poor person, he demands 10% of that pension every month. If it is 100 rupees, 10 rupees to be given to him. How do you stop it? There will be nobody to stop it because the central government employee doesn't come under the Lokayukta. He can't do it. Only cases you must run to the CBI. Now CBI will be taken out of that jurisdiction. Then who will do it? The suggestion made by us was, let the jurisdiction rest with the Lokpal. Lokpal will, when he gets a complaint, his registry will, Lokpal registry will see whether there is prima facie case. Then through the Lokpal institution, somebody, let's say in Kanyakumari, they will refer the matter to the district judge Kanyakumari or the superintendent of police Kanyakumari or the state, if there is a Lokayuk, there is no Lokayuk in Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, Lokayuk Karnataka, please investigate and send a report to us. Based on that, the investigation will be after giving an opportunity to everybody, and it will be the Lokpal will impose the punishment. No extra expenditure, no extra infrastructure. Of course, today's paper they have said the initial expenditure on the building is 400 crores and every recurring expenditure is 100 crores a year and everything. Let them compare it with any one of the departments, you will know what's the difference. If you can't spend that much of money in fighting corruption, in one scam you have about 1,000 times more expenditure than that. Therefore, they don't have the intention to make the institution strong. The moment every recurring expenditure is 100 crores a year and everything. Let them compare it with any one of the departments, you will know what's the difference. If you can't spend that much of money in fighting corruption, in one scam you have about 1,000 times more expenditure than that. Therefore, they don't have the intention to make the institution strong. The moment you talk, you say, yo, we are creating a Frankenstein. What is it? Let's know, where does this Lokpal have the power to be so this thing? It doesn't have the power. Every action of the Lokpal will be judicially reviewable. Every action, including initiation of, investigation. It had provided a mechanism whereby if Prime Minister or the Superior Court judges are to be investigated, then a 7-member bench, of which majority of the people will be judicial background people, they will have to see the evidence that is available, then permit an investigation, not otherwise. What is happening today in judiciary? 1991 in Madras Chief Justice Veeraswamy's case, when somebody challenged the investigation by CBI, the Supreme Court said, no, you can't investigate a Superior Court judge without the permission of the Chief Justice of India. That means they can be investigated. That there is a check, that is Chief Justice of India will investigate. What is happening here? Not one person, but 7 members will have to decide whether an investigation should start, so that there is no frivolous investigation, all ipsy-dixies are not to be taken into account. Which is better? Now, why do we insist on Prime Minister and the judiciary? It is because of the democratic principle. All are same in a democracy, except those who have been exempted by the highest documents in law, that is the Constitution. When the Constitution framers have discussed thoroughly every bit of the aspect of the matter they are deciding, they decided this also, discussed this also. Who all should be kept away from criminal investigation? They decided on the President of India. In some cases, the governors. They didn't give the immunity to the Prime Minister or the Superior Court judges. They could have given it. Let's go back into the history. So far as judges are concerned, we have a judicial system even from the days of British. The offences of corruption came under the Indian Penal Code till 1947. Nobody was kept out. There were cases, rare cases, because corruption was very rare in judiciary at that time, where judges were tried. Either they were tried or they were sent cool information saying either you resign or you face a trial. That was the position. In 47, the new act came. That act also did not keep these people out. In 91, by a judicial pronouncement, so far as the judges are concerned, they put this restriction themselves. It's a judge-made law. Of course, it has the same force of law until it is changed by a legislative enactment. They have not made it. Okay, fair enough. That goes on. Prime Minister. So far as India is concerned, from 47 we have a Prime Minister. Where were Prime Ministers against whom there was no charges? We had at least 2 cases where there was at least allegations were there. The Bofors, JMM bribery case. But nobody took a drastic action which would have led to the resignation of the Prime Minister. The big fear is, moment an investigation starts, he has to resign. According to him, yes, he has to resign if there is a prima facie case against him. Because the purity of post should be maintained there. The counter allegation is, you make some allegation against the Prime Minister, he resigns, there will be a political crisis if the Prime Minister resigns. That's one argument. My answer is, every time a Prime Minister either died or resigned or he lost the election, a successor is immediately appointed. Like the British saying, king is dead, long live the king. Does the administration come to a halt? The Chief Minister resigned here, another man is appointed, administration didn't come to a halt. What is the great crisis that will befall on the country? Jayalalitha says,